What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage. I'm here with my brother Benjamin, and today Kyrie Irving has returned to the game of basketball. Had a pretty mid performance, but it was cool. Nick Wright said earlier today that ain't gonna matter much. So let's get right into it.
I actually thought, Wilds, I saw a humbler Kyrie in that press conference. His tone of voice was not as abrasive. He said he was grateful for the opportunity to play. He said he understood and respected why the team, told him he couldn't play in role games initially. He didn't call the media pawns. I really thought maybe it's just one time. We'll see if it's going forward. But I thought he appeared to be much more humble, which is a good sign for the Nets. Maybe, he's had something he loves taken away from him. But as long as Kevin Durant, James Harden, and the rest of the bunch is on board with this and has the right attitude, I do think this will work. Now, Nick, I was all for what the Nets did earlier in the season because I thought they could win the championship without Kyrie. What I saw over the first few months convinced me they can't win a championship without Kyrie. Unless the James Harden we saw over the last two games is the James Harden we're going to get the rest of the year. But James Harden has not played at a high enough level. And the way James Harden has played, Nick, as low as it's been, relatively speaking, for him, it actually would be really good if they have Kyrie. James Harden giving them 20, 10, and 8 is great when Kyrie's giving you 25 plus what Kevin Durant does. So I think as long as these guys have the right attitude and the other role players aren't upset about, my minutes, when Kyrie comes in out of the blue, now I'm not getting as many minutes. Look at the makeup of the roster. Patty Mills, Paul Millsap, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge. These guys are there for one reason.
Yeah, sure.
Right. They just want to win. And so I think they'll have the right attitude. And Nick, that makes it a good move.
Just to give some context for this video, for those who don't know, Kyrie Irving has not been vaccinated. And so through New York laws and regulations, he's not allowed to play home games. So in the beginning of the season, the Brooklyn Nets issued out a statement where they said Kyrie Irving is not going to be playing altogether. Like, it's either you're in or you're out. The last 2 weeks or so changed their stance on it. Now they're allowing Kyrie to play the away games. Now that might have something to do with, one, the injuries on the team, and two, the rise in cases. So might be like a desperate move for them, and they kind of know, like, they might know that the Nets window for a championship is closing. So the stakes are a little bit higher. So that's just a little bit of context on what they're talking about.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to kill Kyrie because that's what I do. I'm just going to stay consistent that I thought this was a bad idea 3 months ago, so I still think it's a bad idea. Just because the Nets were underachieving to the level that you thought they would be at doesn't, to me, make this all of a sudden a good idea. And Wild said January 5th, but I hope Nets fans get used to what we're about to see, because it's also how the season's going to end. So let me explain that, and this is why I think this is a terrible idea for them, Wilds. Show me their upcoming schedule. So Kyrie is obviously not going to be able to play until January 5th. Then he's off for a week until January 12th, and then he's back January 17th. So between now and January 17th, that's 2 games. And so you might be like, well, what about road trips? Yeah, there'll be road trips. But folks need to look at, Wilds, the end of the Nets season. The last day of the regular season, Wilds, is April 10th. From March 27th on, there is 1 game Kyrie can play in at Atlanta. From March 27th to the end of the year, the Nets have 2 road games, Atlanta and the Knicks. Knicks, you're out for. So we're getting ready for the playoffs.
That's crazy. I actually did not know that. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Whether I agree or disagree to be determined, but that's a hell of a point. The boy can't play in New York. Stealing Benjamin's take. I'm not gonna lie, they might need to tank. You know what I'm saying? They might need to tank their seeds so they don't. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, listen. Let me give them a little bit of context on the take. Listen, we know Kyrie can only play away games, right? Right now, the Nets are a top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. So my theory is very extreme, but this whole world is very extreme right now, is to tank. Get you like whatever the seed is before you get in the playing tournament. Get that seed. So that Is it 6? I think it's 6, right? It's 6. So you know what I'm saying? The first 2 rounds, it's like you're guaranteed to have more games with Kyrie than without him. Now you don't get home court advantage, but does that really matter when you're away? You instantly have a 25 point per game score on your squad. So the dilemma is, should they tank? You know what I'm saying? But to me, and I asked this to Sage. Sage, I'm gonna ask you again. Game 7, would you rather have KD and James Harden with home court advantage, but without Kyrie, or be on the road with all 3 of them together?
Yeah, it's all fun and games until the Knicks get the 5th seed. Then he's not playing at all. He's not playing at all. To answer the question seriously for those out there, I prefer to keep the seed, obviously. I trust KD and Harden to get it done anyway. And not as Nick said, I probably would take Milwaukee in a series where it's just KD and Harden. Kill me, comment section, don't care. But in terms of getting past all the other teams, even the Bulls, even Miami, I'm not tripping. I got KD and Harden. We get it done, or it was an upset anyway.
All right, bro. When they lose in Game 7 by 5 points, bro, they didn't have Kyrie, bro. Like, all right, bro. All right, bro.
Hey, who playing defense instead of Kyrie? Because Kyrie might be concerned with getting
Who,
buckets.
Patty Mills? All right, bro. All right.
I was gonna say like Carter or something. Man, you called my bluff.
We have a push. Okay, end of March, Kyrie plays 1 time. Then the season ends. Then there's the play-in. Then there's the first 2 games of a playoff series. Guess what? Those are in Brooklyn because you're the 1 or the 2 seed. So then Kyrie makes a little debut after playing once in a month for 2 games. And then it's like, okay, we'll see you again in 2 weeks for games 3 and 4 against either Philly or Chicago or Miami or Milwaukee. I am telling you now, that is a disaster. Everyone knows that's not going to work. That Kyrie will play with the team once in the month leading up to the playoffs. Once. That's all he's eligible for. That's not some prognostication. That's the schedule. And they have home court. Okay. Trying to start these series without him. How is that going to work?
I'm just questioning, like, what is working in this scenario? In those games where Kyrie is going to be able to play, if they didn't have Kyrie, would they be a better team? I would say no. So if you have a situation where you have access to his availability, how does that not make it work?
Yeah, he's implying that there's a significant amount of rust with Kyrie Irving for the rest of the season if he is practicing with the team again. I don't know everything, so don't kill me, guys. But apparently there was some times where he wasn't. There was a moment in time where he wasn't even practicing with the team. If he's practicing with the team now, he's traveling to all the games and stuff. It's just a matter of, hey, you can't play tonight, my boy. It is crazy. But if he's consistently with the team and he's just not dumb rusty, I really don't see the harm in it. That's what I would like to hear him say. His point is actually really strong.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not jumping the gun and I probably would just ignorantly be like, nah, that's Kyrie, bro. He playing. But I admit that argument-wise, he has a really strong argument, but I would like to hear him, if he does, hopefully, say as to what harm Kyrie would do to the team if he played, because he hasn't answered that. All he's really said is Kyrie's barely going to be there, so what's the point? But the point is Kyrie Irving just had a 50-40-90 season, dog. A lot of people saying if Kyrie played last season that the Bucks don't even go to the finals. We looking at Giannis a whole different way today. Had that happen, that's according to the media. That's according to people like you. So I would like to see him say what harm it is for Kyrie Irving to play. But so far, I must admit, and I'm not even a big Nick Wright fan. I don't even watch him like that.
I know the last time I watched him, bro. This first time in years. I ain't gonna lie.
No, really, dead ass. And I know how he get with Bron, but this is actually a good point he has so far. I would like to hear the negative impact of Kyrie Irving. I haven't heard that yet. I would like to hear that.
I feel like Kyrie is interesting in the sense of, specifically with this squad too, it's not really that hard to implement him. Like, Kyrie is one of the most versatile players in the league, and I don't think he gets credit for it because when people think of versatility, they automatically think of points, rebounds, and assists. You know, those are the most versatile players in the league. But in terms of like plugging him into a system and just he's going to be able to do what he does, there's very few systems out there that don't benefit from not having a Kyrie Irving. Yeah, Kyrie is an extremely versatile player. So even when he takes these long ass breaks, as long as, you know, he's practicing with the squad, I don't think the rust will really show. And even tonight, Sage, I don't know if you have the stat line, but like he had 20 plus points on still pretty good efficiency for his first game in months.
Kyrie had 22 points, 4 assists on 9 of 17 shooting. Watching the game, he was hitting his mid-ranges and stuff. He ain't hit a 3, but come on now, bro. Kyrie gonna hit his 3s. And like Biso says, he scores at every level of basketball. He can be your primary guard or he can be your off-ball guard. We're seeing it in Brooklyn, he can be your off-ball guard. I don't see the harm. I really don't. And guess what? If he's trash, if he is rusty, bench him.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You're selling, Duke. Sit down.
I wish another franchise could do that.
Don't talk about them.
Someone tell me how that's going to work.
The only counter to that, Broussard, I listened to Kevin Durant's podcast yesterday, and he was talking about how confident he was. And he was so easy and confident that this was going to work. I'm like, you know what? It's like a pilot coming on when you're like, the plane is bouncing around. He's like, we're just going to go up 5,000 feet and be fine. I was like, oh, I feel totally confident now. That's the confidence that Kevin Durant has that this is going to work. So if KD is confident it's going to work and he's got firsthand experience with it and he's going to be the guy doing it, then I think it's going to work, Broussard.
What did y'all want him to say, bro? Yo, this isn't gonna work. Come on, bro. Come on. And that whole man, if KD thinks it's gonna work, then it must work. Listen, me and Sage literally just said that it's probably gonna work. That logic is flawed. Cause fuck it, I'm gonna bring it up, bro. When Russ came to the Lakers, man, bro, why would I listen to you when LeBron said it's gonna work?
So you don't hoop, you ain't 6 feet, you ain't got no post game, you ain't got no jump shot, my boy. You don't know nothing about basketball. You know nothing, and you can't have an opinion because you're not in the league. Me as a commenter to your video, I'm gonna not only dislike the video that you can't see, but I'm also gonna comment that you don't know anything, even though it won't stop you from making content. And I'm going to say that you shouldn't have an opinion on an entire genre of television simply because you are not a part of it.
Sounds fair. All right, moving on.
I think that's a great point. And look, KD can play with anybody. You can drop KD on any team and he's going to give you his 30, period. That's the way he plays.
Yep.
Harden is the key. Okay, James Harden is the key. But, Nick, I want to throw this at you. Let's say Kyrie was injured, which obviously isn't that far from the truth. If he could always be injured. So let's say he was injured and the prospect was Kyrie will be back for like the 3rd game of the first round of the playoffs. Do you think the Nets would be excited about that? Or would it be, how we going to, Kyrie hadn't played all year. He's only played 10 games
but that's
or
not
fair.
21 He's going to be back
I mean,
and
I'm
then
just asking.
re-aggravate the injury every 4 days. He's going to be back and then out, and then back and then out, and then back and then out. It's not starting
but
in
if
the
that
playoffs,
was
he
the
gets to
case,
play all
would
the
they
time.
take that,
I
or would they
wouldn't.
say, you know what, since you're going to keep re-aggravating it, don't come back? No, they would take it.
Yeah.
They would take it. Unless Harden becomes the Houston Harden again. Then I'm all right.
I think you just schooled Nick right. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You have to pick up the fucking coffee mug, bro.
Nick is doing what people do when they have a good point and then anything else they're not trying to hear it. He assumed the worst possible situation, which is Kyrie not only gets hurt, comes back, and now you have to question, hey, are you going to be good? Not only you're rusty, but you're coming off an injury. Then you're saying even if he comes back, he's going to get hurt again. At that point, why are we even talking? Like it's nothing, it's no conversation to be had if, all right, well, they're going to be used to be playing without Kyrie. They can just bench him, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, but he's going to get hurt. Okay, I guess it's possible he can get hurt, but we'll wait for him to heal up. Oh, he'll get hurt again. Damn, dude. It's not a conversation at that point, bro.
But with that being said, shout out to Kyrie. Wishing you the best. Shout out to the Nets. Wishing y'all the best, because this is a tough predicament you guys are in. Watch this video right here. Just watch it, bro. I don't know what it is. Just click on it, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Peace out, man.
Probably some swagoo.